Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. Apologies, it's a little bit delayed. I like to do it straight after Raw, but I had a feeling that there could be some on Raw talk because The Miz was rumored to be on, and we know that we've got a match made for next week, Final Testament Miz against Wyatt Sicks, and it was worth waiting for because we have got another VHS tape to take a look at from Bo and the Wyatt Sicks, but we got a bit to look at before we get to that. So Karrion said, that's the story you know, the only one that's being told, and then there's the story you don't, the one I have to keep secret, but not forever. Karrion is implying that there is more to him with Wyndham and the stuff that's kind of out there. You know, he said there's other stuff that he's had to keep secret, but not forever. There is more depth to him and Wyndham, him and the Wyatt Sicks, but it's not going to stay a secret forever. So definitely something worth keeping an eye on, right? Definitely something worth keeping an eye on. But I have to stress this. Karrion is excellent at taking things and making them work to his advantage. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It doesn't matter, right, if it's actually intended, if it's coincidental, if it's just someone thinking something and then maybe a little bit off with a theory. If it works to his advantage, he runs with it, right? So you need to know that there's lots of people that I believe, lots of fans that are being played by Karrion. Karrion is excellent at mind games, right? So I'm very comfortable, right? I take everything Karrion says with a big pinch of salt. Big pinch of salt. If he is going to convince me of anything, he better bring receipts. And the receipts I've seen so far don't tell me anything. He showed some DMs, and all they showed was that he'd had some messages from Wyndham. And we know, because he spoke to Chris Van Vliet, that Wyndham was very supportive. But the idea that he was going to be in the Wyatt Sicks and all this kind of stuff, and he's the sixth person, and for me, that's just him kind of getting into their heads, getting into the fans' heads as well, making people talk, making people think, which is exactly what he should be doing. But it looks like he's teasing something else now, something that's not been revealed before. And I would just say err on the side of caution. That's all I'm saying. He is a master manipulator, right? Just like this, right? There's a theory that's done the rounds that he has changed people. Now, I don't believe in this theory personally because I don't believe that WWE Creative have used him in this way, right? I don't think that they've used him as a way of trying to change other characters. I just think that it's been a little bit coincidental that it's happened a few times that he's faced people and then they've changed afterwards, right? So, for example, he faced Nakamura and Nakamura had a bit of a change in his character afterwards. So here you can see that Sky 2 Beats is thanking Karrion for this version of Nakamura, right? And is actually thanking Karrion. I mean, this is a Nakamura that has not been around for the majority of the year, right? This is a Nakamura that I would say is even a bit different, a bit more evolved from the one that we saw at the end of 2023 when he was feuding with Seth. That was a dark Nakamura, but this is a completely different Nakamura. I think the idea of Karrion being given the credit for this, I actually find a little bit insulting because for me, there's a lot of work here that Nakamura is doing to build and present this character. So the idea we would thank Karrion for this, as I said, bit insulting. But Karrion responded, all in a day's work. You're fine, all in a day's work, can I say? Now you get the real Nakamura. This is my gift to you. So there we go. As I said, any thoughts, any theories, if it works to his advantage, he'll take it. Johnny said, you changed him. And it goes on, right? Karrion said it didn't happen in this moment. Here's a fun assignment. Find the clip. If you kick a man like a dog enough, eventually he'll behave like an animal. It happened right in that moment. So he's even telling fans that are buying this theory, this is the moment I changed him. And so, of course, someone finds the clip here. It's a clip from this match. It's an excellent match, by the way. You found it. Well done. I just think it's so clever that he has now got fans finding little clips, little moments, and then he validates it. So it makes them feel like they found something of significance, right? I mean, forget the fact there's a whole creative department that can do whatever they want with Nakamura. Forget the fact we haven't seen Nakamura on TV for I don't know how long, right? Forget the fact that Nakamura is the one that's putting the work into his presentation. Forget all that. Let's give Karrion the credit, shall we? Well, listen, if you're going to do that, he's going to take that, right? If you're going to give him the credit, he'll take the credit. And that's exactly what he's done here. So, again, master manipulator, master at mind games. You've got to be careful around him because he is kind of catching a lot of people off guard. And he is kind of setting these little traps and playing these little games. He's very, very clever. Right, here is his segment from Raw. And, of course, he said, if you want my attention, you've got it now. Because, of course, we saw that Wyatt Sicks went after Scarlett. That is a weakness of Karrion's. If you go after Scarlett, you are going to get his attention, right? It is a weakness. You could argue, though, it's also a great strength having Scarlett around. And actually, talking of Scarlett, Scarlett put this out. Once upon a time, her best friend was corrupted by who? So they're an Alexa reference, right? Because we're talking about Nikki's best friend being corrupted. Nikki's best friend was Alexa, corrupted by Bray, by the Fiend. So why is she standing next to him? So why is she in the Wyatt Sicks? Why is she kind of doing Bray's work now? The devils you know versus the devils you don't. Think about it. So people have got very excited there because it has hinted at Alexa, right? I don't know that that means Alexa's coming back, by the way. I just think that it makes sense for this story. We know that Alexa's on her way, but I think there's a chance she comes back like at the Rumble or something. Word on the street was she's not even coming back and being a part of this story. So this is why I'm like, you know, they're referencing her, getting people talking, but I don't know that like it's going to lead to Alexa joining this storyline. Let's see what gets said, shall we?
I need an explanation as to why you are not letting me retaliate tonight. Why?
Baby.
Baby.
What Nikki did to me last week was evil. It was malicious.
It was malicious.
It was poisonous. And frankly, I would have done the same thing.
I would have done the same.
I respect her.
I respect her.
When Bo finds out how smart she is, he's going to destroy her too. You realize you're living rent-free in their heads because you destroyed them in front of the entire world. It's eating away at them, piece by piece. So this whole flipping out thing you're doing, save the energy. Baby, walk with me. Talk with me.
Oh, all right.
There we go. Good little, good. I mean, look, 54 seconds. And in that moment, in these 54 seconds, we understand now why he hasn't just ripped Raw apart looking for them. It's because Scarlett says you're in their heads. It is tearing them apart. You are winning at the moment. And I respect what Nikki did to me. So really like that video. Right, goes for 1 minute 20. Metal Mama, thank you. Word of Wrestling said we should have waited for Raw talk. Some of us did. Some of us did. So let's have a look, shall we? It's been on Raw Talk, but hopefully we can play this because many of you won't have seen it. So because it was not on Raw, I feel like this is borderline unseen, but obviously doing the rounds on social media. It is Bo. He looks like Bray. Of course, that's always a talking point. We do see the others at the end. Hard to understand kind of what his saying. I think it's just his response really to the match being made for next week. So let's play the clip.
Salvation. Freedom that we cling to.
It's very quiet.
If it's salvation you want, then we will give it to you. Flesh. Red blood surging. We take and we take. But
I offer you a gift. A beautiful storm forms in your hands, but you clasp them shut. That hurts our family. Buzzards lost in the torrent. An embrace that is a strangle. But don't be afraid. We will come for you.
We will come for you.
You will be laid bare. You will see yourself.
There we go. That was the Wyatt Sicks segment. Not loads in there to unpack, but their response. So, yeah, very, very cool. So that was the Karrion folder. Let's go over to Raw, shall we, and try and work our way through this pretty stacked folder because Raw was stacked. So, first of all, WWE Universe, are you ready? Your chance to light up the Angel of the Winds Arena is now. You had to download this app and listen for announcements and all this, and there was going to be some sort of big light show. I don't know what happened with this. I never saw a big light show. I thought this was going to happen during, like, the New Day entrance. Maybe they're doing it kind of out of hours to see if it works, ready for like the first Raw on Netflix or something. So fans attending tonight's edition of Raw are being encouraged to participate in this WWE Light Show by downloading and using a WWE Light Show app, holding up their phones during entrances. I just never saw this. I never saw this happen, so I have no idea what happened with this. I'm sure there'll be some follow-up. Then, of course, there was a new shirt to celebrate 10 years of the New Day. So, there we go. I mean, after what went down, I wouldn't expect another shirt. Or if we get one, it's going to be a lot darker than that. Brilliant opening promo. Loved Punk pointing out at the sign, the WrestleMania sign that wasn't there. And it's like, it doesn't matter that it's not there. I've been told that that is not something in my future anyway. But I can see it now. I can see the vision. He wants to get that WrestleMania main event. He wants to fight for a world title. And then, of course, he gets interrupted by Seth Rollins. So this was Seth. Looks like this might have gone into a little bit of a mixed order. So we'll try and get it back on track if we can. So here we've got Kenny for your thoughts. Seth obviously arriving and interrupting. And what a segment it was. Absolutely brilliant. These two trying to get at each other. We got loads of officials down, including Jey and Sami. Sami came down. This line, you created that monster Roman Reigns when you put that chair in his back 10 years ago. That was a great line. That was a great line. He was saying, I didn't want Punk, which I thought was really interesting. On Unseen previous, we heard a quote from Sami where he spoke about there'd been some issues in the past between them. And he was like, I didn't want Punk. I wanted you. I asked you twice. And, you know, it included this line. You created the Roman monster when you put that chair in his back 10 years ago. Yeah, amazing. Then, of course, that set up our main event, Sami against Seth in the main event. We also found out that Liv against Io is official. This for Saturday night's main event. And then backstage, everything is fine. Judgment Day edition. Everything's fine when you listen to Finn. You know, Finn obviously emerging or trying to emerge as the leader of this group. Obviously, later we would see him talking to Dominic. You know, look, watch how it's done, kids. So, that moment, though, when they walk off and Carlito was like, should we do a team hug? Should we do a team hug? I thought that was hilarious. Just as Raquel was walking past, he was like, should we do a team hug, everyone? He's got that little thing for Raquel, hasn't he? Then, of course, we had the match. Liv and Raquel went down. I think, wasn't it Raquel that got the pin on Kairi? But then, of course, you know, Rhea came down. She went head first into the corner of the table. It was a brutal looking spot. I wonder if we can just have a little look at it. Boom, that bit there. Boom. You can see she's got her hands in the way, so she's properly protected. But it still looked really good. The way that she sort of bounces off it still looked really good. Not as brutal looking as the Bron Breakker one from the other day, where he went running around, went right into the corner. I didn't think this one looked as bad, but still looked really good, really effective. Really effective. Then, of course, we had the tournament. We need to have a look at this bracket. So we've got the bracket for the Intercontinental Championship. And here you can see Dakota progressed. We know we've got Zoe, Raquel, and Kaden coming up. I really think that Raquel is going to progress. I do think Rhea gets involved and stops Raquel. I just don't know at what point. So I've already said I think that Raquel gets through. Then I think Raquel might get past Dakota. At some point, Rhea's going to get involved. I don't know if it's in this round, in this round, in this round. At the moment, I've got Raquel getting through to the final, right? Over on the other side, I just want Natalya. There's no point breaking it down. I want Natalya. We've spoke before about why Natalya. If you've joined us on the live streams, I want Natalya. I know many of you want it to be Zelina, or you want it to be like someone else, like maybe Dakota. I think they can get the title. I just think for what Natalya has done for women's wrestling, and certainly in WWE, I would love for her to get her flowers. I don't think she's achieved or had as many moments as she should have had in her career. And she's done a lot for women's wrestling. She's got all these world records, most appearances, most wins. Like, she is the BOAT. And I would love to see her get this honor of being the first. So I've got Natalya winning it all. I think she faces Raquel in the final. It may be Dakota. As we said, Rhea's getting involved at some point. But I would love that image of Natalya holding up the Women's Intercontinental with Bret Hart by her side, like holding her arm up as well. What a way to kind of kick off the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. So that's what I'm looking for, but I know not everyone agrees on that. Of course they don't. But many congratulations to Dakota Kai on progressing. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to New Day stuff. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. Who attacked Jey Uso? I think we got our answer at the end of the show. Of course, we know Wyatt Sicks, Final Testament Miz has been made. So also next week, we got Rhea Ripley against Raquel. We got Lyra against Zelina against Ivy. I think for me, it's either Lyra or Zelina, but it's a very good triple threat. Any of those could go through. And then Wyatt Sicks, Final Testament Miz. Sheamus suffered a cracked rib at Survivor Series. So that was announced, that was mentioned backstage. Tyler said, who in the hell is this in the background when Jey got attacked? I mean, I don't think it did turn out to be this person, because I'm pretty sure that it was Drew, unless they're trying to make us think it was Drew, and then it turns out to be this person. This person is quite interesting, because I would just say it's someone that works backstage, but the fact that they've got what looks to be a bit of like face paint on is very, very interesting. I actually don't know who this is. I can't give you a name as to someone that's got black across their eyes and like red hair. So I genuinely don't know who this is. Perhaps it's just like dark eye makeup and it's just got a bit blurred because they're really in the distance. But you need to know that this was a talking point. I got tagged in this quite a bit. People wondering, who is this in the background? At the moment, we think the person that attacked Jey is Drew McIntyre, right? Finn Gunther, official for Saturday night's main event. So we know that Finn's going to get his opportunity at Gunther. Adam Pearce also says they're going to talk about his other title match, that of course is going to be the tag titles, so he's going to have to defend those. I wonder if he's going to have to defend those on Saturday night's main event on the same show that he's then going to have to try and win a world title on. That would be cheeky, wouldn't it, if Adam Pearce made him defend the tag belts on the same show? Word of Wrestling said 2 days ago, Karrion said, don't let the Devils win. Tonight on Raw, Drew returned and attacked Sami. Words are weapons, and Karrion is like a human thesaurus, manifested the mind of a warrior. So there we go. Karrion did reach out to Drew a couple of days ago. I wonder if these words did just inspire Drew to return. He did send that out, and then Drew did come back. So I wonder if Karrion did inspire Drew's return. It's interesting to think about. And Jang Tae-sang said, it's official, Gunther versus Finn. So yes, we did get Drew returning, of course. What we need to do, though, is we need to sort of try and work our way through this folder that somehow got messed up. I was putting stuff into this folder as it happened. So here we go. New Day came out. Obviously, we had Big E. So Big E came out, these two. You know, Xavier said, what we're about to say, it's not your fault. He said that to the crowds. And obviously felt like they were about to be splitting up, right? And then, of course, Big E came out, and Big E was, like, saying, you know, we've all been there for each other, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And it really didn't go as planned, did it? This moment here, you were never going to get medically cleared. Get the hell out of this ring and get back to your desk where you belong. Xavier Woods to Big E after turning down his offer for him to become the manager of the New Day. It's an excellent swerve. Because as soon as he said, how about I come back and I'm here every week in your corner, cheering you on until I'm medically cleared. And you go, okay, that makes sense. But then all of a sudden, it, you know, was not accepted, and we went down a completely different road. Completely different road. And they turned on Big E, and that actually got them onto the same page. These two are frustrated. They are angry. We saw that last week. And actually, in a way, they are on the same page with that frustration, with that anger. And it seems like Big E became the victim of that. He was the person that all of that frustration and anger came out on. And he was told to leave, and he did get out. I thought at one point they might get physical with Big E, but they didn't. Karrion said, this is all I ever wanted you to see. A New Day. So Karrion, I'm sure people will give Karrion the credit for Drew coming back. People are giving Karrion the credit for the Nakamura change. I'm sure Karrion will get the credit for this New Day thing as well. Do you see the point, right? Do you see what we're saying? How Karrion is kind of in the middle of everything, but he's taking responsibility for everything. I don't believe he is responsible for everything, though. This was straight up evil. It's just you and me now. And actually, there they are on the same page after Big E was kicked out. So this is Mia Yim's sister, who is in a relationship with Big E. Now they got to bring me into this. They're really starting to pee me off. Right? I actually didn't know that was her handle. This is her, right? And she is not mixing her feelings. Nah. When we brought our home, I was looking forward to having the boys over. I was mentally planning to make 2 different meals to accommodate Kofi Kingston's vegan ass and Xavier Woods' childish ass palate. But since y'all want to be ungrateful, crybaby ass beep, y'all can choke. That's how she feels about the way they treated her partner, Big E. That's Mia Yim's sister. And yeah, I don't think, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure the one at WrestleMania 32 wasn't inflatable. So I don't think this is the one from WrestleMania 32. But it was still great to have lots of memories of like bootios, and there was pancakes and balloon arch. I mean, they really did go all out. It was great decorations. It was really good. There's Byron Saxton. Super, super sad. You can see some of the old tag belts, the King of the Ring crown that Xavier had, the bootios. There was pancakes. There was a balloon arch. There was loads of images, the big bootios in the entranceway. So good. It's worth a read. I'm not going to read this to you because it is long, mate. But this, I think, was kind of worth putting out because obviously it just made that moment even more painful, right? I don't know if the New Day saved my life or my career, right? But I know it turned them both into things where anything feels possible. I hope you read this. And it's really just about his life, his journey with the New Day, what it's meant to him. Like, to be honest, I haven't read it all. I've skimmed through. It is long, right? It is long. He is really just pouring it all out. Those that have read it are like, oh my God, you've got to read this. They love it. So I have retweeted it. You can obviously find it on Big E's. It's been viewed 1.2 million times. From what I've heard, well worth a read, right? He might need to change the ending of it now, though. After what went down. Meechin said, I take it all back. Big E is the only real one in that group. So here, look, Meechin was like saying lovely things about the New Day. She's like, I take it all back now. After what I've just seen, I take it all back. So there we go. I think that was everything for Raw. Let's go over to WWE. Saturday night's main event apparently is going to be on the WWE network. James, here, look, in the UK, it's got a 2 a.m. start time. I'm not sure where this has come from. It's come from bodyslam.com. So at the moment, this is the only thing we've got because people keep asking, is it going to be in the UK? And listen, I'm sure you're going to be able to watch it somehow. I'm planning on streaming it, so I've got to find it somewhere. But at the moment, Body Slam are saying that it's scheduled to start at 2 a.m., which I don't quite understand, but that's the latest. Tribal Warrior, shout out to you. The updated Elimination Chamber poster has got CM Punk, Bianca, Jey, Liv, Rhea, John Cena. Maybe just a little hint as to who's going to be involved. I never know if you can read too much into the posters, but, you know, these people may have been selected for a reason, so something to be aware of. Right, I think the main reason why Cody and Kevin were not at Survivor Series is because the show was in Canada. WWE didn't want KO getting an overwhelming positive response. That wouldn't look good for the casual viewers. And Kevin said, is this why at WWE, at Triple H, at Steph McMahon, at TKO, at The Rock, at Jimmy Fallon, at Nick Khan, is this why you didn't have me on the show? He also sent a message out about the fact that Man City have not won a game since Cody went to visit them. They lost again the other day. And, you know, he kind of retweeted that out as well. So very good, very fun. Let's have a look, shall we, at community. So if we go down, quite a bit in here. Tea Time managed to get one of those CM Punk belts. Very, very good. Here, Billy getting a response from Sergeant Slaughter. Billy asking if Sergeant Slaughter was part of the Zelina Vega army. That was the response that we got back. So I'm not sure he quite understood, to be honest. I don't know if he follows like the trends and whatever, but there we go. Pretty much in a roundabout way, he is a fully signed up member of the ZV army. Edward, shout out to you, said John Cena follows me. He has done for a little while. I got the Brooklyn Brawler and Sergeant Slaughter as well. So Edward, very good. Very good. Tony, there we go. Tony actually at Raw, enjoying the show. What a show to be at. Stacked. So 2 hours. I feel like it was like 4 hours. I mean, it flew, but I feel like they crammed 4 hours of talking points into 2. So good. But Tony's got a few images for us. LWO against American Maids. This was before the show. Natalia won in the first match, apparently. Uncle Revel said, since we've just had a complete New Day heel turn on Big E, here's a shot of my son from SummerSlam 2019 at a fan fest. We'll never see these bootios again. That's a great picture, though, isn't it? Great picture. Naomi against Nia for the championship was the match we had. And apparently Solo against Cody, which we've been getting quite a lot, actually. And, of course, Cody would emerge victorious. So those were the dark matches we had. Tony, thank you. Hope you had a really good time. So let's go. I think it's just fun and other now. Is the Mar said who wore it better? Here's Asuka. There's Kairi. Let's go. So she was rooting for Kairi in the tag match earlier. It didn't go that way, unfortunately. Less than 24 hours after Survivor Series, Raquel and Liv took over a Walmart's intercom. Let's have a little look at that. I haven't actually watched this.
Attention all Walmart customers. This is Raquel Rodriguez of WWE speaking. Listen, I came here bright and early because I have a surprise for you. I brought with me the first ever Crown Jewel Women's Champion and the best Women's World Champion of all time, Liv Morgan! So listen, if you guys want attention all Walmart customers.
Imagine if you was in Walmart and you heard that. That would be sick, wouldn't it? That would be so exciting. I would go over. I would go over. I mean, you know, I'm not a big Liv fan, or I like Raquel. I mean, I don't mind Liv. She's had a great year. She is the champion. She's been involved in loads of stories. I can't say that I'd be like, all right, yeah, and just carry on with my shopping. Maybe some would, but I would go over. Probably get insulted. What do you want for Christmas? I want... It doesn't matter what you want for Christmas! Yes! Night is WWE. Excellent. WWE Ethan, thank you. I know James tagged me in this as well. New Bron Breakker shirt, which I don't like the word eat in the bone. I'd get rid of that. I'd probably just have, like, the dog, like, you know, foaming at the mouth, like... looking even more like, you know, the nose kind of snarled. But it looks all right, and I'd get rid of that. I don't need the dogs are barking on the back. I don't need that. Plain black, just the dog on the front. It'd be a little bit like Rowdy Roddy Piper. Wasn't it WrestleMania 1 when he came out with just like an image of, I can't remember if it was a tiger or something like that. It would feel a little bit like that, which would be cool. So I sort of, it's in the area of something I would like, but there's just I don't like that on the back. It looks a bit cheap. Don't like that in the mouth. I would tweak it. It's all right. I am the Colour Reds. So night is WWE again when it's my turn to do Elf on a Shelf. TJF, shout out to you. Tagging me in this. Apparently on Facebook, there's a band called The Bloodline getting very upset. Hey, we are not a wrestling team, right? Which is very, very good. Either way, I still acknowledge you, said this person. Apparently people keep getting in touch with them, asking them about wrestling and WWE and if they acknowledge Solo. So they just had to put that post out. Look at this as well. Izzi Dame said, I'll take it because this new Santa, we got another one now, right? Vince's edition. So Izzi Dame is on the morally ambiguous list. Izzi Dame said, I'll take it. Can I get a star on the noodle board now, please? And Anthony, who has been in some of our opinion videos, and obviously we've looked at the good noodles before. Anthony's like, do you know what? Yes. Since Santa didn't put you on the naughty list, I can definitely reward you with a good noodle star. Changes will be reflected in Tuesday's update. So Izzi Dame has got a star on the good noodles boards. Look at this. Izzi Dame was like, check it out, Carmen Petrovich. Yeah. She was thrilled. She was thrilled that she got a star on the good noodles board. So there we go. Right, let's go. Let's see what we've got over there. Yeah, this was pretty wild. Nia hates me. She hates me. Years ago, and this shows how crazy it was at the time, I left ESPN and I came back to WWE. I told Vince, I've got it here, I've got some golf events that I've already got on my schedule. In my first 10 years, I missed like one Monday night. So now I come back, tell Vince I need to miss 4 in a year. How do you think that went over? He said, no problem, we've got you. Well, he had me until the second missed event. And then it was like, this is some BS. So then they started filling in, and I remember they put Renee in my spot. No one liked the fact they brought me back, whatever the reason. I'm not going to use the jealous word. It is what it is. But Nia led the charge. Renee in coach's spot. She didn't like me. I had no issue with Renee. I think Renee's terrific. So there he's saying that she was really pushing for Renee to be given his spot, and people didn't like it when he returned. WWE Ethan, shout out to you. So Nikki Garcia speaks on her split from Artem. She said, it's been really tough. I've been heartbroken and sad. It's like a great love story turned terrible. I never saw it coming. Oh, and look at this as well. Moana 2 has grossed $221 million on its opening weekend at the domestic box office. It's the biggest ever for an animated film, that of course being The Rock's film. So we need to go, thanks, and I do just want to have a look, see if there's anything we've missed out on as well whilst we've been recording. So wrestling fans since day one, thank you. Sweet Chin Wrestling, thank you. Wrestle Night, thank you. Casper, thank you. Raymond, thank you. Jang Tae Sang, thank you, my friends. We've got this. Oh, hello. The Miz is ready to fight alongside Final Testament against the Wyatt Sicks. Miz is cooked next week. Should we have a look and see what The Miz had to say? This is also from Raw Talk.
Earlier tonight, it was announced that next week there will be an 8-man tag match. Yourself and Final Testament versus the Wyatt Sicks. So what are your thoughts on how this all came about?
Kathy, this is a classic example of a simple misunderstanding getting taken way too far. There's no reason for us, to get even more involved with the Wyatt Sicks. I think cooler heads need to prevail here.
Are you calling Karrion Kross a hothead?
Whoa, 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 whoa. You said that, not me. I am not commenting on the temperature of anyone's head. Karrion Kross is valid in being angry, but there are other ways to resolve conflict. A mediator, a 6-man tag, excluding me. And I texted Karrion just a little bit ago and oh, look, texted back.
Here we go.
Kathy, as I was saying, I look forward to helping Final Testament in this match next week.
Well, they are so lucky to have you on their side. Thank you so much for your time.
I don't get the impression that was a great message that he just received. So there we go. The Miz, very excited about facing the Wyatt Sicks next week. There we go. Thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate all the support. And of course, we're back later with our NXT watch along. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.